in developed worlds, Western worlds, you see how people will do their budgeting. There's a plan for vacation and they go for summer break. There's a plan for this is my grocery. There's a plan for this. You pay for all those things, right? And it's part of your well-being, mental well-being. How do you keep working and working and working? And you tell me my needs and wants are two different. And I understand that. If you say my want is me buying an expensive sports car, that's a want. I agree.
Yeah.
But for you saying me buying a car, I need to buy a car because I need to move from point A to point B. So my question now is, when you say vacation is not a want. It's a need to refresh.
Are you really sure that buying a car really is a need?
It's a need in Nigeria. It is a need in Nigeria.
Today we're looking, we are, having financial literacy session today, and we're talking about, why paying yourself first is the secret to financial freedom. So it's an often overlooked financial, strategy, which is, paying yourself. So it's a concept that might sound luxurious, even like out of reach, but it's actually a simple and actionable principle that anyone can use to build financial security, from fresh graduates to seasoned professionals, most especially entrepreneurs. We're looking to break down why this approach, is key to wealth building and why it's as much about the mindset, as it is about money. So through relatable stories and practical tips, we'll show, how to make paying yourself first a habit that works on any budget, really. So that's what we're looking, to touch on today. And going straight into it, who are they?
I'm the season's expert.
Yeah.
No, Tolu is the season's expert. Go on.
What does paying yourself first actually mean? And how is it different from simply saving money?
So paying yourself means that you need to reward yourself for the things that you do.
Okay.
Are you with me? It's the same way when you work for an organization, they pay you a salary.
Yeah.
But inside that, you pay yourself. Now, some people will tell you that paying themselves is a way of, creating savings and creating monies for investments that they will use for the future.
Yeah.
Even organizations pay themselves.
Yeah.
First, after they've paid all the external people. So that's why you have corporate organizations tell you that they retain some of the money into the business. So they are paying the business first before they even think about, sometimes they think before they pay shareholders. So they will retain, this is how much we are going to keep.
Yeah.
We are keeping all so that we can go back into the business. So you need to understand that paying yourself makes you have enough money from doing, whether you are paid a salary or you run a business and all. And if you're paid a salary, you pay yourself also from that salary before you start to incur the expenses. In this one, we're talking about petrol. When you buy 10K, it doesn't even move the needle. But pay your 10K first to yourself. Because that
so
way,
I should still pay myself.
Pay yourself.
Pay
yourself.
In these hard times.
Yes, you pay yourself. That's how you get the monies. A lot of the monies that you save, that you put in investment, is from the payments that you made to yourself.
Yeah.
Some people, like you said, it's different from the regular savings. You just say, okay, today, this month I'll save 10%, next month 20%. No, make it a habit and say, okay, inside this 100,000 that they pay me every month, I will pay myself 5,000 first.
If I may ask, right, because I'm also in the room, you guys will not ignore me.
No,
I can't ignore you.
Conversation.
When you say pay yourself, how do you measure what to pay yourself, especially with all the challenges we've got now in the economy? Because you just spoke about petrol. Standard of living has gone up. Prices of things, health, education, lifestyle, well-being, everything has gone up. How do you do this, knowing that what you are getting is not a lot compared to the sort of expenses that have grown all of a sudden?
Brilliant question. I'll give you to go on that.
Okay, so really, right, things are really tough now. Do you understand? Like you highlighted. But the idea behind paying yourself first is more of a mindset, your way of thinking. So no money is too small. Okay? You understand? So because I mean, many drops of water make the ocean, right? We know that statement. So even in difficult times, right? You should try and take out, as little as possible. I mean, as little as you can, really, towards paying yourself, because on the long run, it will have its values, right? So, like Uwade said, is you do it first. Do you understand? Before you even you actually tackle your expenses. So before you even start that or go down that route, you take out something for yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
No matter how little. So the percentage of money you actually decide to pay yourself, is really down to the individual. I mean, considering your finances, your earning power, right? So you on your own, you will know, right? But most times I advise to take 10% at the least, 10%.
Yeah. Okay, so because Tolu is here and three of us are guys and we understand how sometimes we rough things, but Tolu has a different spending spree. And I have no insult intended in that question.
Okay.
Is it the same thing for both genders, in terms of what you have to take out? Because I know that women spend because they've got a lot of things to buy. How do you put that into perspective?
So, like we've all talked about here, you have to know how much you're earning, and you have to know what are the bills you have to pay. Do you understand? But irrespective of that, we all said that we have to pay yourself first, because these payments, this little 10% or 5% payments can accumulate, like Ogiva said, little drops of water make an ocean. And these payments, you can now channel it into the things you want to get for yourself, the self-care, the relaxing time, and other things or other aspects of your life that has been lacking because of paying other bills. Because I know of women, I know of parents, mothers that, right from the onset, they're paying school fees, they're paying rent, they're paying for food, they're running up and down, and they don't even have one new item for themselves. Or they've not even gone for a spa session like Ogiva talked about earlier this morning. Like, they've not done anything for themselves. They don't even have retirement plans. They have nothing left. They're always paying bills and paying bills. So, from a woman's point of view, you still need to pay yourself first, and you can accumulate the money to touch any other aspect of you.
And Femi, can I just quickly add to that? And when we say either gender, the one thing we need to remember, and especially when we are putting together a budget, is what are the needs and what are the wants. They're two different things. And I understand prices of things have gone up and all and so on. Even your basic needs, the prices have escalated so much. But what are our needs and what are our wants? So when you truly understand that, then you understand the need for you to pay yourself first. Because sometimes the paying yourself first is what we use to satisfy our wants. I want to travel on a holiday. I don't need to travel on a holiday. They are two different things. So when I pay myself that salary every month in December, I will just tell myself, you know what, I dey go village.
No, but is that the right thing? Is that the right thing? Because in developed worlds, Western worlds, you see how people will do their budgeting. There's a plan for vacation and they go for summer break. There's a plan for this is my grocery. There's a plan for this. You pay for all those things, right? And it's part of your well-being, mental well-being. How do you keep working and working and working? And you tell me my needs and wants are two different. And I understand that. If you say my want is me buying an expensive sports car, that's a want. I agree.
Yeah.
But for you saying me buying a car, I need to buy a car because I need to move from point A to point B. So my question now is, when you say vacation is not a want. It's a need to refresh.
Are you really sure that buying a car really is a need?
It's a need in Nigeria. It is a need in Nigeria.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Because let me. So a lot of people today, because of the current situation of the fuel prices being that high, they have cars.
Yes.
But they've resulted to alternative means of transportation.
Yes. I actually know a guy that doesn't drive to work anymore.
Oh, I don't. So this morning I took a bus and I came here, and I'm sure people will be wondering, but I have a car.
So
have you put in the other things that happen? Because imagine if you enter a bus, somebody will stain you, especially when you're wearing whites, like Ogiva is wearing whites. Somebody, like there was in a bus.
Is it a daily thing, Femi? That happens.
Don't you go out daily? Yeah,
but do they stain you every day? Or you're not cautious? Why? Because you're in your car doesn't mean that you can't get stained.
No. I understand when you say that. Look, it's a bit difficult in terms of putting all those expenses in, but you cut your waka.
Exactly. So in that situation with what you just said, right? You cut your waka. It makes buying a car a want.
Exactly.
Well, you people won't like you people on the street at all.
No, what do you mean? You see, when we say these things, people think that more people drive cars than more people enter public transportation. That's not true. There are people who want to buy cars and cannot afford to buy cars. Even when the cars were much cheaper.
What if your route is not public transport friendly?
Where are you staying?
I'm not the one in question here.
No, Femi,
I'm not the one in question.
You just haven't taken time to find out what the exact public transport route will be. I'll give you an example of myself, and people will think that, what's it called? How long have I stopped driving? About 5 months?
Yeah.
How do I come to work in Ikeja? Bus. So initially I was finding out, from my place, how do I get a bus to Ikeja directly? I now found out that I could take a keke to Sabo, and there are buses parked going to Ikeja, and then I sit down and then it drops me at the junction where I will take another keke and then walk to the office. When I'm going, how do I go? I take a walk to the junction and take a bus going to Yaba. Exactly. So until those things become necessary, you just say, I don't know the transport route, but they are. You would find out.
Well, when you say these things, I'm sure Tolu has to understand this, because Tolu, you are someone who likes to look good, right? Ooh. And you also feel it's part of your brand. Why would you jump bus regularly? Knowing, I understand when you say maybe cabs are a bit more expensive. There should be, if I get a small car that is fuel, I can manage my petrol. That's not a want, because Tolu has a lot of places to go to. She has parties, events, meetings.
Oh my God.
So there should be a budget that you can remove. Because I think in Nigeria, driving is not a luxury. I think it's a necessity.
Okay, that's you.
When you have 4 places or 5 places to be in, are you going to keep jumping buses to all those places?
If you don't have a car, you will.
If you don't have a car, you get to those 4 or 5 places? If they are really, really necessary. Tolu, please speak to this. Because you are the female in the house.
The trick is let me not use the word trick, right? The idea is to create the mindset. Now let's still focus on this car, this car thing, right? If you know you want a car, right, which becomes a need right now, right, from your own POV, you don't have the cash to buy the car, right?
Yeah.
But if you are paying yourself, you understand, you can over time. It's not going to happen overnight, right? But you can, at the end of the day, depending on the amount you are saving, right, you can buy a car eventually. At least something you can afford. But I mean, you have to save over time.
Yes.
So in regards to
and also jump buses.
Yeah, you have to mix it up. So at the end of the day, in fact, let's even identify like the mental and cultural barriers,
exactly,
right, that make it hard.
Which is part of the things that Femi has just said.
Yeah,
in Nigeria, we need to drive a car. Yeah, no, you don't.
Exactly. So in Nigeria, like financial priorities, they often extend to like maybe they extend beyond individuals, right? So there's family obligations, and social expectations, which I will use as a want. Right?
Exactly.
Social expectations. And these things can make it, difficult for people to prioritize personal savings, right? So, the cultural value of Ubuntu, community support, is very strong. And many people feel obligated to support family members financially, and additionally, rising inflation, and cost of living make it feel impractical, really, to set aside money. But moreover, limited financial literacy and misconceptions about savings. It's only some people feel it's only for the wealthy, right? So So, but it contributes to a mindset where people see savings as a luxury and not a necessity. So overcoming these barriers really, requires a mindset shift that personal savings benefits not only oneself, do you understand, but also create stability that could, better save family and, other things in the long term.
And just to add to that, and I come back to my point of needs and wants. That's what the giver is talking about. So what are my needs? What are my wants? Like he said, cultural, societal
social expectations.
And expectations.
Yeah.
Sometimes come to be part of your needs.
When you people say this, and just for me to put this last thought about it, I think that sometimes we forget that everyone is not staying in the same place. Everyone doesn't have the same call time. So let me use Cowday as an example, right? Cowday's call time here is 6 a.m. And if Cowday is not going to drive, he's going to have to go through the rail. And the rail doesn't resume until, 6:37, right? Thereabout. So it means Cowday cannot make 6 a.m. here if he waits for the rail. If he jumps the bus, it's very early for him to leave his house at that time. I'm trying to create where need and wants come in.
Yeah, go on.
So it means automatically Cowday needs to use the best option, the safest option, which is get a car. One, right? I'm pushing that one side. There are many examples you can use, and people who stay in further areas in Lagos or Ogun State and have to get to work very early. Would you still tell that person that is a want, knowing that his security? Because what's the point if you get mugged, if you get robbed?
Okay, so it comes. I mean, leaving your house at that time already. Generally, whether you're driving or you're even using public
It's
transport,
a security issue.
It's already
a bit safer in the car.
Right? But the need in your description right now is to get to work
Exactly.
early.
Yes.
Not get a car, right?
Yes.
So there are a lot of things outside just the whole money things, money aspect, right? You can have a neighbor that's coming in this direction. You can have a friend. Do you understand? And like what they said, you find your route. Do you find the best way to get to work on time? So okay, this route is shorter. This route is safer. I can take this, get here. Do you understand? Get there? Because at the end of the day, right? Whether it is a need, want, whatever it is, you still have to get to work.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people get mugged in their cars.
Do you
yes,
understand?
they do.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, they do.
My car has been taken from me before.
Really?
Yeah, on the road I was
In
driving.
Lagos?
Yes.
No, you have called me now. You have called me.
They've actually stolen my car. I was just standing there. They beat the hell out of me. Took my car and I just stood in the middle of the road. The light just started getting smaller as they're driving away. Do you understand? So what do you say about that? So the thing is really is no matter how we are faced with a lot of pressures and a lot of expectations, right? We still have to have that mindset. That's the key message here, right? You have to keep that mindset. Now let me go as little as let's work with 500 naira. Let's work with the barest minimum, right?
Yeah.
It will be very easy to save 500 naira a month.
Yeah.
Do you understand? For anybody right now, right? Except the person doesn't have a job.
A day.
Or,
A day care.
Yeah. 500 naira a day.
What is even saying a day? I even want to leave it at as a month. So, for anybody that's saving 500 naira a month, that means the person is definitely squeezed tight, right? So obviously, that's the best the person can do. But at the end of the year, 500 times 12 months, that's 6,000, right? The person has 6,000 naira aside, just sitting there waiting for it to be used for whatever need at that time. So in the course of the year, right, you'll be going through a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, the 500 naira you're taking out will not necessarily affect your lifestyle. Do you understand? That depends on the kind of lifestyle you're living, though.
Yeah.
But it won't drastically affect your day-to-day life. You understand? So that's the idea of keeping a percentage that you can work with.
So I understand this and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to just phrase another question. This personal savings I've made, what are the great investment? Because it doesn't make any sense for me to just have 6,000 naira at the end of 1 year. Remember, 6,000 naira January 2024 is different from 6,000 naira December 2024.
Yes.
The value has really dipped. What are ways I can make that personal savings maybe generate a little more interest, let my money work for me?
And that's a brilliant question. So you can invest in the capital markets. You can talk to your financial advisor who would advise you on which areas you can put it into. And I know that we some time back we had spoken about your ability to keep these monies in mutual funds where you gain interest. Today, you see bonds and treasury bills at 18, 19, 20, 21%, where you can even also get an upfront payment that you can reinvest from paying yourself. And there are a number of things. You just need to find the right financial advisor or speak to the right people who are going to tell you, oh, this is the best way, or this is, in their own opinion, who are the experts there, the best area for you to put in that money. You could even create it as a local ajo like some people do. I know someone who has been saving money since she was like 15, and she still does it today. And at the end of every month, now she gets about maybe every 3 months, every quarter, she collects about 1 to 1.5 million.
Is this Tolu?
It's me.
Is this Tolu?
It's me.
No, it's not. It's Tolu. You know,
she would have bought her car by now.
It's me.
Now I know why she was quiet about the car matter.
He's also prioritizing. Another thing I would also say in terms of paying yourself is, many people will say, well, I'll pay myself, but next month now, you know, I won't groove. There's no money, so you go and withdraw the money. You try as much as possible to make sure that where you pay yourself in, are you with me, is either being properly invested, that you don't really have access to it immediately, except it's an emergency or it's a need that you have. Because people, when you say pay yourself, sometimes you're paying yourself for a need in the future.
Yeah.
So what you say about dirty December? We should not dirty this December.
December is a want to. It is a want.
It's a choice.
You even need to question that. In fact, let's this dirty December.
What are you dirtying the eye December? When you can do it every day.
We're welcoming people.
Please,
IJGB.
please.
I just go back. Let them come and spend their money.
Do the dirty December.
Tolu, this is what you're keeping quiet. Say something. You can't let them be cornering me like this. So we're not dirty this December.
I'll be dirty my own December.
The IJGB.
Yeah, you guys have spoken so much about people working from January to November.
Yeah.
In December, where you're supposed to unwind, all the money I've been saving, is that not the opportunity to spend? Spend a little.
December, you can buy bigger chicken.
Go to the spa.
Save for it.
And then instead of
go to a resort,
beer, you buy wine.
Yes.
I'm not stopping you.
You worked from January now.
But you see,
you
paid yourself from January to December, so you can take a little bit of a break.
Remember, you're paying yourself, right?
And you're investing.
You're taking out of your earnings, so you still have money. Do you understand? To still, handle your expenses, on a monthly basis, right? So that money is kept aside. Do you understand? And I keep on saying it, like, okay, so let me. You're a family man. You have a wife and kids, right? Are you going to say, because things are tough, you are not going to take care of your family? You will.
No, you will.
You find a way.
Yes, you find a way.
You find a way. Do you understand? You find that part. So it's the discipline, the mindset. You have to.
Exactly, the mindset.
Regardless of how inconveniencing it can be, it has to be done. So it's something we don't really practice as much in this part of the world. Because and it's so easy to be like, me will never chop.
Exactly.
How can I save? But do you know what? I promise you, Femi, like, try this, right? Try this till January. Just save 30,000 naira from November, December, and January.
No, don't count December. Half from January. Don't count December.
Especially in December. Especially in December.
December is good month.
No, especially in December. Do you know what? You find out that this 30,000 naira that you've been telling yourself that I know fit to, there are so many things. You find out that you save it and you still end up doing everything.
Let me tell you, Femi, let me tell you a real life scenario. I think it was in 2021. I took my daughter to go and make 2020 during COVID. I took my daughter to go and make her nails. So the nail technician who had been making nails for us, and then she was complaining her house rent was due, blah blah blah. She works every day. She makes money every day, and I told her her house rent then was maybe like 250K. I said, save from this money, save 1,000 naira every day from January. From that August period, she started saving to 5. By December, she paid her rent. She had even forgotten that she was going to pay rent. And that's the reality of paying yourself an amount, because like we said, it could be against the need. So once you understand your needs and your wants, but that one now you go make money, like you say, you do dirty December, but you would still do that dirty December because there'll be extra.
Trust me, you know what? If you save money, right? Or rather, let me not the work.
If
pay
you pay
yourself, right?
not save. Pay yourself.
You'll be surprised that you still end up doing everything you do
exactly.
normally during the month, and it won't affect you. Trust me.
Okay.
Try it.
Maybe we should ask Oga Charles whether we should be paying yourself.
I'll start in January. December is a very...
Try. Just try 3 months. You find out that you get to realize, oh, really? I can actually do this, right? You know, nothing good comes easy. So it's just the discipline.
Are we not already suffering enough?
Before we go, Oga Charles is there. Should you pay yourself something every... Try and pay yourself. That's why
start that habit of paying yourself.
I think everybody deserves a right to pay himself. But considering the economic situation in which we find ourselves, I think we have to face the reality of it and how impossible it seems now. Because by the time let's say someone who earns 500,000 naira a month, yeah, your monthly expenses, you live in 3-bedroom apartment. Your yearly rent is more or less, depending on where you live, you can't pay anything less than maybe 800 a year, depending on where you live. Yeah, you have to feed, you have to pay school fees for at least 2 children. You have dependents. You have to buy petrol. How then do you pay
groceries?
yourself? Where does the money groceries? Where then does the money come from?